Hello, my friends. It's time for another episode of Bible Q&A. Today we're discussing what is the true nature of Christ's liberty. In Matthew chapter 11 verses 28 to 30, Jesus said he'd liberate us from our burdens. Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. However, what is this yoke, and how exactly has he freed us? Well, there are two yokes, and the first is death. Satan is the master of death, collecting people since Genesis chapter 3 verses 1 to 6. He challenged the devil, bested him, and broke his power over death and the fear of death. As it was said in Revelation, I am he that liveth, and was dead, and behold, I am alive for evermore. Amen, and have the keys of hell and of death. Revelation chapter 1 verse 18. The second yoke Jesus is freeing us from is sin. The world pressures people to live a particular lifestyle and adopt certain ideals, and they spend more time trying to meet those standards than God's. If they have to break God's laws to do it, they will. This time, it's Christ's words that are the liberator. He told us, If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John chapter 8 verses 31 to 32. If we accept these words, then we won't bother meeting the world's standards and will be free to live our lives in different ways. However, Satan has found other ways to control humanity. As St. Paul said, For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. Satan maintains his bondage by filling people's hearts with lusts, according to Matthew chapter 15 verses 18 to 20. They are too busy being greedy, selfish, and envious to care about God. He also spreads false doctrines about Jehovah and his works, as well as the belief that he doesn't exist. As a result, a lot of people don't know the truth about God. It's just like how in Luke chapter 19 verses 41 to 44, many Jews didn't know that Jesus was the Messiah and so worked to kill the very person that would save them from destruction. As a result, like in any battle for freedom, some lives are sadly lost. Not everyone can be liberated by the power of the gospel, because all those lusts and lies the devil sends prevent a lot of people from even seeing it. As it was said in 2 Corinthians, But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Christ, who is the image of God, should shine unto them. However, if we are lucky enough to be cured of our spiritual blindness and have our yokes lifted off our backs, we must continue to fight the influence of the devil, according to 1 Peter chapter 5 verses 8 to 9, so we don't end up returning to our former slave master. As Paul said in Galatians, Stand fast therefore in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Galatians chapter 5 verse 1. Now, you may point out that even if we reject Satan's influence, we'll just end up having to follow God's rules. That's true. We can't be free of the influence of both him and Satan. As it was said in Matthew, No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. Matthew chapter 6 verse 24. If we are free of Satan, we are slaves to Christ. However, we must look at the reward we get for working for each individual. St. Paul told us, For when ye were the servants of sin, ye were free from righteousness. What fruit had ye then in those things whereof ye are now ashamed? For the end of those things is death. But now being made free from sin, and become servants to God, ye have your fruit unto holiness, and the end everlasting life. Romans chapter 6 verses 20 to 22. It's like the labor market in a way. You have to work for someone, be it a shareholder, a board member, or a boss, so you can't be totally free, but you can choose the guy who will offer you a better return. And that's the end of this episode of Bible Q&A. What is the true nature of Christ's liberty? Well, it's actually subservience to Christ, but it does free us from death and sin, tools used by Satan to keep us miserable. Thank you for listening! Don't forget to like and subscribe.